All right, so this is going to be the first video in a series of videos where I'm actually going to walk through hands-on how to build AI agents and get through things that you can implement directly into your business immediately. So keep watching because what I'm going to cover today is the ability to actually get in and create an agent that will watch an email inbox for a specific type of email, parse that email, and then go to your project management system and actually figure out which client is this for, which project is this for, is there a task for it? Maybe, maybe not. If there isn't, let's create a task, or rather have it create a task for us, and then leave a comment for your team. So let's jump right in. Okay, so I'm going to walk through this agent step by step. For the most part, this is a pretty simple agent for the amount of power that it has. So the first thing that we have is a trigger node, and we're going to send it directly to this AI agent. Now, to give a little breakdown of how all this works, the AI agent is made up of a couple of different modules. So this model down here is which LLM or which AI model are we actually using to parse the information that we're getting from the email. The buffer memory here, this is just the ability for it to remember what it's doing through the cycle as it loops through and decides, did I fulfill my instructions correctly? Then all of these coming out of this tool section, these are all the tools that this AI agent has access to. So it can't do anything beyond what it's actually provided tools with. And, if you think about it, this is not too far from how you train a new person on a team or just a brand new intern. You give it a role. Hey, you're responsible for triaging these emails. You give it instructions. That would be the system and user prompts coming into the agent. And then you give it tools to do the job with. And so that's exactly what we have here. Now, this last piece here is once the agent is done with its job, we're going to make another API call back to Gmail and archive the original message that came in here to create a nice, clean, fully closed loop here. So let's dive into this agent and take a little look at how this is set up. So in this case, I could add a system message, but for right now, everything works really well if I just give it a user message or your typical style prompt. So you can see here, we have first determine if this is a warning/error for a specific scenario, or if this is a notification from Make about a status or incident and an update on their system as a whole. We give it the entirety of the email message itself without all the other stuff that it doesn't need. So what that looks like in the prompt is over here. And then we say you have two workflow options. Workflow A, if this is a status or an incident update and is not an error about a specific automation scenario, then use the Slack tool and send a notification in the defined channel. Skip everything else, your job is done. So we're talking to it just like we would, well, maybe a little bit more rudely, but very similar to how we would a human team member. And then we give it workflow B and we say, if this is a warning or an error or a notice about a specific scenario, then using the message details, which is right up here, or all of this over here, then please determine what this is about, which client it relates to, and then create a task in ClickUp. All right, seems pretty straightforward. We go on to say, use the tools to find the correct folder and list, and check for any open tasks that already represent the issue. Do this before creating tasks and comments. If a task already exists, then add a comment to that existing task instead of creating a new one. All right, so as we're going through this, again, these are very, very clear instructions. We give it context, and context is among the most important aspect that we can give the AI agent to know what to do. Now, I have a couple important things listed here. Make the task first and then leave a comment. Pretty straightforward, pretty logical. Please include these things and mark the due date of the task you create due tomorrow. Super straightforward. But not all LLMs and not all AI models know what quote unquote today is. So I make that really easy. Today is, and then I give it in a format, which if we scroll down here, 2025, 0502. So now it has a basis of exactly what today is, when tomorrow would be, and the instructions to go through here. So if we take a look and take a step back out here, all of these tools right here represent getting into ClickUp, finding the project, or finding the client, finding the project within that client, finding out if there's a task or not, creating a task if it needs to, and then adding a comment either to an existing task or to the task that it just created. And there's subset instructions in each of these, but it's super light, and I'll show you that in a second. This final tool is directly to Slack. And what this one is basically saying is just post a message in Slack. So if we look into here, we can say we connected it to a Slack account. We even had the tool description set automatically. We're going to handle a message, and it's going to be able to send a message to a specific channel called Make Updates. Simple text messages, all we're having it send, and it's 100% defined by the model. This is it. There's nothing else in this tool. There's no other templates. We don't give any instructions, and this works beautifully. So it knows what to do based on these instructions, based on the email that it's coming through. So again, if we're looking here, it's going to say workflow A, use the Slack tool, skip everything else, your job is done. So in those cases, it's just going to use this and move on. In all other cases, it's going to make an API call to get all the clients. It's going to make an API call to get all the lists, which would be the projects. It's going to make an API call to get all the tasks within a specific list. And then it's going to either create a task and leave a comment or create a comment on that task. And each of these are all very similar. So if we go into any of these, we can say we're connecting up to our ClickUp account. We're now setting the description of the tool. So once you find the correct client folder, then find the backlog list. Straightforward. We give it the information and we have AI supply the folder ID. That's it. That's it. So essentially, we're getting the folder ID from it using this tool. Then we're using that from the AI here. And it just has all these tools to work with. Each one of these tools is very similar in instructions. So if we go to comments, we can see here's the ClickUp account authenticated. We're not even setting a description. The ID and the comment text all set by the AI. We don't even tell it how to do that. It's doing it on its own. And again, this works beautifully. So it'll process through all of this, and then it'll run through and it'll archive the email. So it looks something a little like this, where it'll get the email. It starts thinking about what the email is. It's checking the buffer. It's now going out and checking for clients. It's then going to get all the lists for this client. Again, these are the projects. It's then going to get all the tasks and make sure that we either have one or we don't. And it'll probably, create a task and then create a comment. And so we'll let it process, and you can literally see it thinking back and forth between using all these tools and getting the responses from these tools to understand, is it following the instructions? It finally completed all of its instructions in the agent module, went and archived the email, and we're done. All right, so to implement this, you could connect this up to your Gmail. You could connect this up to your Outlook. You would run an AI agent. And then in the AI agent instructions, you would simply specify what you want it to do, give it the tools that you would need it to work with, including Slack if you wanted to give it notifications. And in N8N, to do that, you simply just go into this kind of plus module here and find the tool. So if I search for ClickUp, I can go to ClickUp tool. It's going to add a new tool, and then I go through and choose which part of ClickUp I want it to relate to, what operation do I want it to do, and then select the rest of the information from there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this for now since we're not going to use that. So, you just kind of work through which model and experiment with which model would work best for the situation, run a bunch of tests through this. But essentially, you're looking for something just like this, where it runs through specifically how you want it, produces a desired output. If you have other ideas on other videos that you'd like me to make agents for or expand on different sections on this video, just let me know in the comments. All right, so that's the video. Thank you so much. If you liked it and got something out of it, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want a more detailed approach, step by step through this, I've created a guide with the link in the description.